Hello, everyone. I hope you're well.
Hello, hello.
Hey, thanks for coming off and saying hello to me. I hope you're all well. Crystal, I love it. I love a good drive and Zoom. It's so good. Such a good use of time. If you hear a baby in the background, Phoenix is here with my mom. So sorry that I'm like a couple of minutes late. Cool. So I want to always keep these like short, but as long as we need them to be. So set up for today's call is we have Olivia Cuenca. So if everyone can see Olivia on their Zoom. So this is Liv, and I have been a big fan of her work. She is an incredible practitioner. She studied psychology, and then she's kind of moved from integrative psychology to the metaphysical side of things. So works a lot with energies, with spirit. And I felt like because this week we have the week 2 prize being a session with her, this is very special as well, because she normally only does like corporate group sessions or group sessions. So for her to do a one-on-one is a real big favor to me. So thank you so much for that, Liv. I really appreciate that. So it's a very special session. And I also thought how great to get her on, which she happily and at last minute said that she could do, because I really wanted her to sort of tell you guys a little bit about what she does. And I think it's really important that we talk about how important this kind of work is and working with practitioners like this, if you don't win, of course, if you don't win this session, but like how important that kind of work is when we look at, last week's call with our coaching call, and we learned a lot about progesterone and stress, and really like how that influences our hormones. So she doesn't have a whole lot of time, but like if she's going to just give you a little understanding of what her session is going to look like and what benefits you're going to get. And then if anyone has any questions while Liv's here, feel free to ask away, because I think it's a really, really valuable tool, because like I said, it's got that real science, psychology side of things, but also that really like beautiful, like energetic, metaphysical side as well, which is really important. So I'm going to let you take it away. Now, if you start talking and you can't see Liv talk, then let me know, because maybe I have to make her host, but I'm pretty sure if you talk that it should be okay. So
Shall we testing 1, 2, 3? Could everyone see me? Yeah, cool. Thanks, Steve, for the beautiful introduction. Yes, and it's so nice to be here and follow a bit of the journey through the lovely day. And well done to you all for signing up to this challenge too, and really learning more about yourselves in new ways. I really, applaud that. I guess in terms of what I offer in my business, so I call myself an integrative psychologist. I call myself that because I integrate different aspects into healing. So I've been trained as a traditional psychologist, registered psych, 7 years of study. So the Western science, I draw that into my sessions, depending on what the client challenges are. But with the other piece is the Eastern medicine. So that's where I use pranic energy healing. I'm a big believer of that we're multi-dimensional beings. So a lot of my journey myself has been very deep and a lot of inner work, and been on a spiritual journey myself. So it's sharing that with others and helping us all come back to that place that we all share. We're essentially a bridge between heaven and earth. And it's how we can tap into that truth within us more and more to help raise our vibration on the planet. And that's a key passion of mine, elevating consciousness. So part of health, I work with mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. I don't see them as separate. When something physical challenge happening in your life, I believe that is also happening spiritually. There's always underlying weaving. And imagine if we knew everything happening, we wouldn't be able to operate and do all that we do. So creating space and already with what Dee's beautifully crafted in the meditation and the reflection piece is key for healing too. Yeah, so coming back to that inner compass. And in the 30-minute session, to answer your question, Dee, I don't think I did yet. Again, it depends on what's happening for you. So the winner, a bit of the process, I meditate, channel, converse with spirit in my ways and bring that through with what needs to be shared. And a lot of it comes up in the session. So I know it's short. Normally it's about an hour, but it will look different depending on what needs to be shared. Yes. So any questions, please feel free to ask. I know I just shared a lot. Thanks, Semi.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you could come on and share, because Liv and I have actually been trying to organize me to do a session so I could speak from experience. And I just have we've just not been able to make that work. But knowing, like if you're just in Liv's presence, like there's people that just remind you to slow down just by the way that they live their life. She is just like that kind of barometer for me. Like I know when I'm going too fast, it's too much, I'm too overwhelmed. And when I spend time with her, she's just so zen that I'm like, okay, I gotta come back down here. So yeah, so I know it'll be a beautiful session, and I secretly can't wait for mine as well. But yeah, love what you do. I'll just read a little bit of the chat for you, because I know I really know that a lot of people will be so aligned with this kind of work as well. I know Sam, you do a lot of like this kind of stuff too, like with your EFT, with your tapping, or your reflection and things like that. But I think as well, like the people that I draw in are all very conscious of their energetics, and knowing that we are 99.99% space. So really, what are we? We're all just energy. So really being able to work with that, yes, and human design, so cool, Sam. Yeah, I love human design as well. Myself and Liv are both projectors. We've spoken about this a lot before. And Victoria said, absolutely love everything you just said, and totally with you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, yeah, look, if nobody else, Amanda, yeah, awesome. If nobody else has any questions for Liv at this point in time, then Amanda as well. Amanda Jen. Phoenix is a Manny Jen. I'm yet to learn more about Manny Jen. Amazing. Well, yeah, I'm so excited for the person who wins this. Obviously I have to wait until Saturday morning when everyone's officially sent through their vlogs to announce the winner, but I'll liaise with you, Liv, and it'll be very exciting. It will be a really beautiful session, I know it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to meet the winner, and nice to see you all now too. So thank you.
And Liv, I know that you're also, you were going to share as well a resource for everyone. You might as well mention it now, just so that they know that that's coming for them as well.
Yes, thank you for reminding me.
No worries.
A very key part of my journey and how I keep anchored, I love that word, in a very busy and noisy world is in my morning practice. So I love that you're all doing that. Although I have recorded myself guiding you through a meditation and anchoring practice, I would call it a ritual of connecting to the earth and to the skies. So that alignment of your chakras, as most of you would know, so that your energy centers, and how to really start your day off with that anchoring, that alignment, to then bring that peace and that stability as much as you can throughout the day with whatever life throws you. So I have that resource to share with those who would also like it. So I can send that through and we'll sort that out.
Amazing. Yes, I can't wait for that. Yes, I know that the girls will really appreciate that. And it'll just be amazing to have that just extra piece, because we've got a few meditations that I've chose that I like from Insight Timer, but I really can't wait to get this, because I know I'm going to be using it a lot myself. So
I've got to say, when I was recording it after I was spinning out a bit
Well,
so deep
yeah.
into it. So
Yeah, I love that.
got
I
to
love
keep
that.
grounding in. So I'm
Oh, we
excited to
know it's
share.
going to have some special energy infused
Oh,
into it.
yes. Any questions, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, I'll let you guys be.
Perfect.
Your call.
If there is any extra questions, then I'll of course just let you know. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks so much, Liv. And
You're so welcome.
I think we'll say bye now because I
Yeah.
mean, unless you want to hang around and we'll answer questions and things about the FlowFit challenge.
I'll leave that up to you, Dee.
Thanks. All right. See you.
Much love to you all. Bye. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so I really I can't wait for the person who gets that session because it's going to be like a really special session, but I'm also really looking forward to that free resource of just being able to have something. And I'm going to try and plug it into the actual app itself. I'll just double check with Liv. I should have asked her while she was on here, but I'll double check with Liv and see if we can actually add that in, because wouldn't it be nice and easy if we just had that link right there with the other links that we already have. Okay, so I want to let you know, if you haven't already seen it, I know I tagged everybody in it, but I just want to remind you guys of the vlog, the points for the vlog. I didn't want to make it the same questions every single week. And also because they were so beautiful last week, I thought I hadn't asked permission yet from everybody. So I didn't want to share those unless someone had tagged me already on Instagram with an extra share. So yeah, like I said, you can tell me privately. I promise you I won't be offended if you don't want me to share, but I know a bunch of you have already said, no problem, you can share away with the vlogs, but I just didn't want to share the ones that you had already posted because, you had the intention in your mind that they weren't going to be seen by anybody else but our sort of safe group. So if there is something that's personal in there, when you upload it, you can either, if you want, you can comment and say, look, I'd rather hit this one just in this group, or you could just reach out to me privately. And I'm just so more than happy to just keep that private, because I really do want to keep the FlowFit family Facebook group like a safe space, so that we can actually share the things we really want to say and not think, I don't want everybody hearing this particular story or hearing this share. So I just want to kind of respect your privacy. That's my first priority. I would rather have the vlog and the share in the group than be able to share it online. I'd rather that than you think, oh, I'll do it for Dee so that she's got some content to share with everyone. I'd much rather know your true experience for me. Cool. And so for that, it is week 1 versus week 2. What's different? And the second question to answer this week is, after 2 weeks, so on a whole so far, what's the biggest change you've noticed overall? And I'm just really interested to see. And don't be surprised if week 1 was up and week 2 is down, or the opposite way around, because this is our flow, and that will start to balance out over time. But I just think don't feel bad if that's the case for you so far. Awesome. I'm pretty sure that's everything that I had to go through anyway. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that's really standing out. But does anybody have any questions? Even if it's questions that you already asked on Facebook or in the Facebook group, but you just want to double check, or you want a different answer or anything like that, then definitely let me know. I'll just wait and see if anybody wants to, who's on video. If you want to ask a question, you can pop your hand up. If there's no questions, amazing. It's just a short, quick call. I have a couple. Savvy, you are welcome to take yourself off mute. Ask away.
Thank you. Thanks. It's been awesome 2 weeks, and I'm noticing so many different changes and things like that. I wrote it down and I've left it at work because I wrote it when I was doing the coaching yesterday on my lunch break, which I did share a bit about last night for the estrogen, because that just blew my mind. But I think what I wrote as a question to ask was around, I think this is me, obviously, I'm still breaking out. I thought maybe week 1, I had a bit of a breakout from detoxing.
Yep. And
then this week I'm noticing a few more pimples again, sort of breaking out more. But I'm wondering, because the day we started, I just finished my cycle, my period. So yep. I'm kind of right on that, second week. So yep. I feel like next week, week 3, I would probably be usually getting a migraine, because every month I would get a migraine 5 days before I bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've just noticed that potentially the excess estrogen is an issue for me. Yeah.
Yep.
So my question really around that was, how do I excrete it better?
Yep.
If that is that vicious cycle for me with between the gut and the liver, going between, and then I'm getting the breakouts and I'm noticing the oilier hair and the migraines and that. So is there another tactic, or is just the food and doing what I'm doing the right way?
There's two answers to that. One is time. Over time, like what you're doing is the foundational pillars. There is nothing else to do that will replace those. But of course, we can always layer other things in. I mean, you won the Happy Bum Code Beginners Bundle, so that actually will be really interesting to see how you go with that in terms of if you do have some dysbiosis and some gut imbalances, being able to just kind of help your body take out the trash a little bit quicker might help with that estrobolome and that the sort of part of your microbiome that's designated to balance your estrogen out and not retoxify. So if you are able to just sort of clear things out a little bit more effectively, there are other like tactics and things that you can use. I mean, the foods that you have are optimized for detoxification in the first half. So the first half meals that you would have been having are optimized. So it is probably like your body's like, oh, it's a bit of extra detox here. And so it might just take some time for your body to sort of catch up. But at the same time, anything that helps with drainage. So we're really thinking here, poop. And magnesium can be really effective for that. Again, your meals have high levels of magnesium in them with the particular foods that you're having. But when you start the challenge, if your digestion isn't quite there to absorb and extract all of that magnesium yet, or absorb and extract all of the nutrients that help you with detoxification, then there might just be that transition period where you can just have a couple of things in there that will help a little bit. So really the true answer is time. In time, it will regulate. The second answer is coffee enemas can be very helpful for this particular thing. Also, magnesium can be really extra helpful. So if anybody does find themselves just wanting a little bit of help, either being regular, going to the bathroom, they have a fair bit of pain, they want to help reduce that, whether it's period pain specifically or it's just general pain in their body, wanting to just relax and have calm, more than what, I love the de-stress tea for that reason. But if magnesium is particularly what you need and you find that you sort of strain to go to the bathroom and you feel like you're always in fight or flight, magnesium can just be really helpful with all of those things that I just mentioned. So if you do want to like have a practitioner only access to a supplement that I love, then you'll have to do is in the prep week emails, you got that link and it sort of mentioned, having some supplements if you needed it. I think magnesium is a really great, easy, very, very safe supplement to use to kind of just assist. I don't see it as a competitive advantage, but it does help to support things. Because mostly because of it, it's quite a calming mineral. So it's really beautiful for that. So I would probably say things like de-stress tea, because de-stress tea is also a digestive. So that can sort of just help sort of clear things out and settle things down, help your nervous system balance a little bit, because a wide nervous system will block detoxification from working effectively. So basically anything that can sort of calm your body down or can help it drain a little bit quicker. So your options are, you can wait, you can sort of wait it out and just see. I'd be so interested to see how you go next week in terms of your migraines, because everybody starts at a different place. So like if I was to sort of do like a whole body analysis, it might be that you have a severe starting point than others with your hormonal imbalance and sort of the gut and how that all relates together. So it would just depend. And I don't know if we've ever spoken about PCOS, but I would be curious to know if you have, higher androgens or higher testosterone or high DHEA. It would be interesting to know. I'm just trying to
I
get
have been tested previously and there's never been any issues or
Yeah.
signs of it, endo or PCOS, yeah. But,
I mean,
Mm.
depending on what you got tested, I have opinions on that, because people will say, oh, you know, I got tested, but then I'm like, yeah, but what did you get tested? And a lot of doctors are just, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not testing all of the androgens. So people sometimes would just test testosterone, and then they come back and it's like, well, just testosterone is not enough of a picture, because there's other androgens like androstenedione, DHEA, like that could be high, and testosterone could be totally fine on a blood panel. So, so it would be, again, it would be interesting to know, did you get it properly tested? And if you got it properly tested and it came back and you didn't have any other signs, even
And
with
like ultrasounds, like internal ultrasounds and all, like.
and no cysts?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed too, probably since starting like the Kangen water as well, or ERW, I go to the toilet more, but I've noticed also in the last 2 weeks, like I go into the toilet 2 or 3 times a day, like number twos, girls, number twos. So I have noticed that I am going more often too.
Well, to me, that's your body really trying to push things through, and also your metabolism must be increasing, and I'd probably say like your rates of all the minerals that you need to get things out. Now that should normalize, because if it feels like kind of diarrhea, I know everyone that, I talk periods and poo all day. So for me, this is fine. If it's feeling kind of like on the diarrhea side, no. Okay, great. It just feels like you're emptying just quicker. That's actually a good sign. That's a good sign. So, and again, it should just normalize over time. And look, 1 to 2 a day, a lot of people say that that's okay. And it just really depends on the person. For some people, once every second day is actually their norm, even when their body's feeling well and healthy. So it just depends. And for other people, it's 3 times. So yeah, it just depends. It's more about like, how do you feel internally and what symptoms are you not getting?
Yeah. And I've noticed like I've lost weight, like my partner as well. Even when I walked in from work quickly tonight, he's like, you've lost more weight. I'm like, actually, I weighed myself this morning and I have, which is great. So I've noticed that I'm shifting it quicker than I probably ever have, so something's working. So, and I feel better for that. But also on the food aspect, which was my second kind of question, does it matter? I'm on 1,500. Does it matter if I, like, for example, now I can't remember, I think it's the Rachel. I cannot eat that lunch. Like, it is so much food. So I'm having not even half of that quantity. Like, it is massive. Does that matter, or is that going to affect anything in terms of what I should be having?
I'll get back to you on that, because I'm just going to double check. There is a recipe, and it could actually be Rachel, that no matter how many times I edit it, it just comes back and has like a really quite a large quantity of
it's the chicken and quinoa with
I think this is it.
It's like huge.
It's like 2 cups of quinoa or something, it says.
No, it's 3/4, it says.
Oh, okay. Oh, well,
3/4 of a cup of quinoa. Yeah, but I just feel like it's massive, and
wait,
I just
hold on.
like
Is that cooked? That's cooked, right?
No, raw, and then I cook it.
Okay, that's what it is. So I'll go in and I'll double check. I'll have to just edit that again, but it's got to be cooked. 3/4 of a cup of cooked quinoa is nowhere near as much. Was that a question that you had as well?
Yeah. Because that was the question. I was going to be like, this is a lot of food, and I cannot eat that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, good, Lucy.
Sometimes it reverts back to old changes, and I've edited that a couple of times, so it's a little bit annoying, but
that's right. I'm just like, this is a shit ton, and I can't even eat half of that amount,
which is fine. Look,
that's good.
Yeah, if you've been having 1.5 cups of cooked quinoa, it doesn't really matter, because I want you to eat till you're satiated anyways. Especially in these first couple of weeks, as we sort of get through, you'll start to go, oh, this actually feels like a lot more food. If it actually is more calories, it will feel like a lot more food. But for the most part, yeah, for the most part, you'll be able to kind of be able to gauge it. And like I said, I'd rather you be full, you know, and say, oh, I don't need to eat all of that. I don't need to stuff myself silly for that. Thank you for
thank you. No, that's right. They were my two things. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll quickly, Crystal, you got a question. Yeah, Crystal, do you want to ask me a question first, and then I'll go through the other questions that are here.
Sure. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's nice to finally make the call. Two quick questions. The first one is snacks. I know there's no like prescripted snacks, but like if like I'm finding like the meals, I feel really satisfied afterwards, but there's some days where I'm like, usually sort of like in the afternoons, like my partner's like, you look ravenous when we have dinner, like I'm inhaling it because I'm so hungry.
Yep.
Like if like in the middle of the afternoon, you just like, I just need something to tie me over, like is grabbing a few almonds or some veggie sticks, or like is there any sort of snacks that you would recommend?
Yep. Look, I think if it's whole foods, why not? You know, if it's whole foods, then for sure. If it's, you know, I mean, look, it depends on where you are, and you do the best that you possibly can. Let's just say you're on the road for the next hour in traffic, and you go past a service station, and you think to yourself, well, I'm just going to get whatever this service station has, and maybe it's just like a protein ball. Do you know what I mean? It totally depends on. That's okay, Caroline. I'll answer your question. Yeah, Caroline, it does. So we'll talk about dessert tea. Dessert tea is so important for cravings and balancing blood sugar. So we'll talk about that in the Facebook group. But if you got to go, that's all good. Okay, bye. So yeah, I mean, if it's whole foods, it's fine. Just do your best and just sort of see how you go, like day to day, and especially where you are in your cycle.
Yeah, it's not every day. It's just every now and like some of the days I'm like, I just need something.
And look, totally ideal would be veggie sticks, because it's like that's just brimming your body up with nutrients. Let's just say, for example, you had roasted carrots in your dinner coming up. You could, you know, if you often get to dinner and you think, oh, it's really satisfying, and sometimes I don't finish it, you could just take those carrots and eat them earlier in the day as a snack. Do you know what I mean? So it just depends on the day, depends on where you are, depends on what plan you're following for that day as well. But like there's no problem with snacking. It's just we want to get to a point where our digestive system and our blood sugar works so efficiently that we can go from lunch to dinner, no problem. And if you need to have dinner earlier, I would highly recommend that, because if your body can totally digest your food by the time you go to sleep, that's ideal. It won't interrupt your sleep, and you'll have a really good quality sleep as well.
Yeah, I think that's been our problem, like just not getting dinner until like quite late, just because, all of life stuff. So yeah, cool. And my other question was in regards to what I asked in the Facebook group, just in regards to cardio training. Apparently, I'm the only one doing cardio training. So
you're the only one. Yeah.
Anyway, you mentioned like not kind of smashing yourself hard like a HIIT session, for example. Are you able to just like really quickly explain to me like the physiological reason why that's not beneficial? Because it's such a different shift in like, I've always trained really hard. I love training. Like I'm like, if I go to the gym, I just want to smash it out and feel good afterwards. Like I get all the endorphins and stuff. And sometimes when I'm just sort of not training hard, like I just, I'm like, what's the point? Like I could just be going for a walk on the beach. So
yeah, I get you. And I know, Radost, you know, I know we've spoken about this as well. So, and this was me. I was like, if I'm not at the gym and I'm not sweating at the end of a session, it doesn't feel like I've worked out. And I worked myself into exhaustion by doing that, but I didn't really realize. And it was really hard to switch my mindset to do exercise that was either restorative or relaxing. And I really felt like, like the stress of doing that exercise, sometimes I was like, oh, I'm not sticking to my goals, and I'm not getting shredded. And it was just, you know, it was a mindset that I didn't realize that was actually holding me back. Because you've got to remember, the secret sauce is how can you keep yourself in rest and digest as much as possible. When you do HIIT, you push yourself into fight or flight. Now that's okay, if you have hormonal balance. But if you don't, it really sets you back. So if you've been cruising through and you've had hormonal balance and you're feeling really good, then you can start to re-experiment with HIIT sessions here and there, particularly well-timed HIIT sessions, like not just before your period, and see how you go, because you'd be surprised at how much, like, you'll do maybe one session throughout the month and go, great session, but if I find that if I do 2 or 3 sessions throughout the month, it's actually a bit too much for me, and I don't feel I feel a bit like bloated, or I don't, maybe you have more proneness to injury, or just, it just depends, because it will affect people in different ways. But basically the long and the short of it is it's in the name, intense. Anything that's intense takes us out of our rest and digest response, which is where we want to be, so that weight loss is effortless and all of those symptoms can resolve themselves as well. So that is really the thing. And it's not like you can never do HIIT training again, but it is just all about learning to understand your body and time it well, so that when you do it, it doesn't affect you in a negative way. Like, for example, in certain times of my life, like if I did a HIIT session now, being sleep deprived, having a teething baby, and not actually sleeping through the night once in 6 months, I would do a HIIT session and I know I'd be shaking by the end of it. Even if it was in the morning, even if it was in the first half of my cycle, even if it was the day I was ovulating, like, it would be too much for my body. And I've actually experimented over time to sort of check in and see and, really test this out. But for my body particularly, I noticed, I'm like, bam, I can actually see that. Like, it's so obvious, and I couldn't see it before. So that could be what you find, but it might not be. You might be quite resilient, and your body might be in a better position than mine can be at times. So it just depends. But for these 6 weeks, just experiment and just see, because you only have this 6 weeks once. You're paying for my expert advice. And physiologically, if you can maximize this 6 weeks, which is what I recommend you do, you'll actually go, wow, by the end of 6 weeks, you'll be like, this feels easy. And I feel like the weight is dropping off me, particularly with your cardio, because that is the right kind of training for you, having the higher blood pressure. So that is a perfect match for you right now. So everyone should get the same results, but we're going to go in different ways slightly. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, I'll quickly go through here. What's a collard greens alternative? Can't find it anywhere. Kale. Amanda, yeah, that is a good alternative. Or like silver beet, bok choy, pak choy. You could use any kind of, rocket. You could even use, they're green, so they're pretty much all the same. They're not really, as long as if it's green, it'll have a pretty similar micronutrient profile, which is really helpful. Caroline asked, but I'll just go through it anyways. Does the dessert tea have ingredients in it that are super important? The licorice taste isn't for me. Some people don't like licorice. Most people find that that's the perfect sweetness. That tea is amazing for blood sugar balance. So in that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock afternoon, or dessert time, obviously it's called dessert tea, but that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, or after dinner, it is so amazing at being able to balance your blood sugar. It's like those ingredients have been scientifically proven to be able to do that. And balancing your blood sugar will stop you from feeling like, flat and exhausted. It will stop you from breaking out. It will stop your hormones and your insulin from going high, inflammation to start to proliferate. It has so many benefits of being able to help stabilize everything, mood, energy, sleep, because it's often when we go up and down, which is what coffee does, coffee is very good at that, is going up and down with our blood sugar, that really puts us into a fight or flight response. So again, a lot of this is really about, let's just chill, let's be balanced, let's be zen. And every system, if we can do that with every system, then things will just be so much more effortless. Phoenix is having a real hard time in the background there, and Mummy knows that it's time for bed. So I'm gonna yeah, great idea. Okay, so Sammy said, so Crystal, this is for you. Sammy said, sometimes I separate the portions. Example, I'll leave 3 strawberries out of the Erin smoothie bowl as a snack. Great idea. Great idea. Don't sign me up for cardio. Amazing. Yes, I love the teas. I love the teas too. Highly recommend them if anyone hasn't got them yet. Yeah, if anyone hasn't got them yet, I do really highly recommend them. They're so helpful as like they're like supplements. They're basically replacing supplements. So if you don't have them, they are very helpful. And I think that is everything. If anyone does have any extra questions, because I do have to go, just chuck them in the Facebook group and I will happily answer those. Yeah, but don't forget tomorrow vlogs, make sure you film them and you upload them tomorrow. And then I will announce the winner on Saturday morning. All right, everyone, have a lovely Thursday night and I will see you soon. Bye.